Albert Einstein and atomic theory. March 14, 1879, Einstein was born in Ulm, Germany. He later moved to Munich, Germany, where he grew up. In the early years of his life, he was not thought to be intelligent. He was not able to speak fluently until the age of 9, but he showed interest in science and math. At the age of 16, he mastered differential and integral calculus. Also at that age, he got kicked out of school for bad behavior. He then tried to get into ETH but failed the entrance exam, so he went to cantonal school in Aarau, Switzerland, where he obtained his diploma. In 1896, he got accepted into ETH, where he completed 4 years of physics and math. He graduated from ETH in 1900. He married a classmate named Mileva Marek, who he had 2 kids with, and then divorced her and married his second cousin, Elsa Einstein. He then took a job as a math teacher for 2 months, before taking a job at a patent office in Bern, Switzerland. Einstein submitted a doctoral thesis to the University of Zurich, which earned him his PhD. Einstein was more commonly known as a physicist, although he made a few significant contributions to the chemistry field. He explained Brownian motion, which was the first demonstrations to prove that atoms existed. Robert Brown was a botanist who observed pollen grains in water under a microscope and noticed that the jiggling motion. He called this the Brownian motion. He didn't know how to explain why this was happening. In 1905, Einstein finally came up with an explanation. Einstein noticed that the molecules of the visible pollen grains were hitting the invisible water molecules. So it looked like pollen grains were bouncing around on their own, as if soccer players were kicking a ball around. The idea of atoms existing was around for decades, but it wasn't until Einstein's explanation that proved it. In 1905 to 1907, his contribution to the quantum theory triggered an avalanche of theories related to it. Einstein explained the photoelectric effect. The photoelectric effect is the emission of electrons from the surface of a metal. Light gives its energy to the electrons in the atoms of the metal, which causes them to move, creating a current. Not all colors of light will do the same thing. Einstein showed that red lights couldn't move the electrons in a metal because its photons don't have enough energy. On the other hand, photons of ultraviolet light will easily move the electrons in a metal. For example, there is a gray car parked somewhere. There are several red cars that can try to move and push the gray car, but all they can do is dent it, while a blue car can easily push the gray car elsewhere. The photoelectric effect, explained by Einstein, is one of the most convincing evidence of the existence of photons. In 1921, he received a Nobel Prize for explaining the photoelectric effect. Einstein was never known for experiments regarding the atomic theory. In fact, his eclipse experiment was one of the only physical experiments he did. Everything else was mostly thought experiments, or other scientists testing Einstein's theories. As for chemistry, he had no major thought experiments. In 1933, when Adolf Hitler became Chancellor of Germany, Einstein was visiting the United States and decided to move there in fear that the Nazis would target him because he was Jewish. With the help of Einstein's famous equation E=mc², the atomic bomb was developed in the United States and was later dropped on Hiroshima, Japan. He lived in Princeton, New Jersey, while working as a professor at the Institute for Advanced Study at Princeton until he passed away on April 18, 1955, due to the rupture of an abdominal aortic aneurysm. His contributions answered questions about photons and how they behave, as well as the existence of atoms and molecules. His contributions also became the building blocks of a plethora of new experiments and theories.